but how will these overnight cues impact our own markets? We have our research team joining in to tell you what the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and the action from the F&O space as well. Hey guys, a very good morning to all of you and happy Friday as well. It's been a long week, but let's talk about today. What are the market cues we're watching out for? Hurmaz is joining us now. Hey, good morning.
Well, it will be banks and ITC that will decide whether it is a Friday or a Friday, but we'll watch out for that. But you know, it was a case of missed expectations yesterday. There was some bit of hope in the market that the RBI would provide some direction on whether they would change their stance or not. Nothing of that sort came about, and once that became clear at around 11 o'clock, it was just a one-way slide down for the Nifty. It corrected over 300 points from the highest point of the day, ended at the lowest point in a week, and the only bright spot here though was the support that it took was at its 20-day moving average. But index heavyweights, when they contribute to the downside, there's nothing much that the index can do, and 64% of the Nifty's fall yesterday came from three stocks: ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank and ITC. And we were just mentioning yesterday as well that there has been no support coming from ICICI or HDFC Bank to the Nifty Bank, and if the Nifty had a bad day yesterday, it was worse for the Nifty Bank because that fell 1100 points from the highest point of the day. At one point it was even down below the 45,000 mark, but somehow managed to salvage that level at the close of trade. But that level now will be the key because it has not closed below the 45,000 mark since the 25th of January. What did well though, and what continues to do well, is State Bank of India, another record high yesterday, and now it is up 8% this week. So that remains a bit of support point there for the index. But now, since most of the events are out of the way, the budget is out, the policy is out, the Fed is out, the markets are back towards the global cues. The global cues are not forthcoming either because the US markets barely did anything last night. The S&P 500 moved in a 13-point range, and it did hit the mark of 5,000, but it was extremely range-bound. So no cues from the US. Asian markets are mostly shut. So we'll watch out for some earnings reactions today coming from LIC, Aarti Industries, Patanjali Foods, United Breweries, a lot of other stocks that reported numbers, some other stocks that are reporting results today. We are coming to the fag end of the result season as well. Hero Motocorp, Bandhan Bank, HUDCO, IRFC and MRF will be the ones to watch out for. And Gift Nifty, as you said, is indicating a slightly negative start for the Indian markets today. Back to you.
Okay, fag end of the earnings season. That sounds nice, but we do have a lot of results we'll be tracking. But for the others, Upasna is joining us now with all the stocks and news. Hey, Upasna.
Hey, good morning, Sonal. First up, let's talk about LIC. The company reported a strong Q3 beat on all fronts. The VNB margin stood at 20.1% versus the street estimate of 15.7%. Next is United Breweries. The company saw good top-line growth, and the gross margins also expanded by almost 220 basis points on a Y-on-Y basis. Next is Aarti Industries. On a Y-on-Y basis, the numbers were weak, but sequentially company sees a growth, and sequentially revenue growth is almost 20% on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Next up is IRCTC. The company has undergone a MOU with Uttarakhand government to operate tourist trains to the state. That's the reason the stock will be in focus today. Next up is TVS Supply Chain. The company has signed a settlement agreement in relation to the recent disputes, and TVS Australia will make an aggregate payment amounting to almost $6 million. Next up is Signature Global. The company has entered into a joint development agreement for 20-acre land located at Haryana. BHEL will also be in focus on the back of order win. It has received orders more than 5,500 crores from Haryana Power Generation Corp. Next up is telecom stocks. They will also be in focus today. Well, the Union Cabinet has approved 10,523 megahertz spectrum auction this financial year with a reserve price of almost 96,317 crores. And lastly, Paytm will also be in focus according to sources. Paytm Payment Bank's independent director Manju Agrawal resigns from the board.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that list, Upasna. Finally, let me go across to Manglam. He's joining in with all the cues from the F&O space. Hey, Manglam, morning.
Good morning. So yesterday was a day of sharp sell-off. In fact, post the RBI event, we had the Nifty weekly options expiry as well. All of that led to a big decline on both the frontline indices, and that was led lower, of course, by the Nifty Bank, which was down over 1,000 points as well. No respite coming in from the RBI. Maybe the street was hoping for some sort of dovish commentary coming in, but that wasn't the case to be. Also, we saw a big decline in all the FMCG stocks. Yes, of course, ITC had that overhang of bad stake sale. But, Nestle was down 3%. We saw a big decline in names like Tata Consumer, despite good set of numbers coming in. Also, HUL. So all of this was telling you that there was strong institutional selling. And that's exactly what came about from the FII end as well in the cash market. They sold about 4,900 crores in the FII. Gross volumes were close to around $3 billion as well. The DIIs went ahead and bought the FII, selling penny to penny. FIIs also sold in index futures, and this time around, unlike the previous two trading sessions where they were buying Nifty and selling Nifty Bank, this time around they sold both Nifty and the Nifty Bank, a little lesser amount for the Nifty Bank itself. And if you notice, over the last three trading sessions, you'd see the FII long exposure coming down from 37% all the way down to 33% where it stands today. The Nifty options, because the market is likely to be in a range going forward, is the 21,800 call and put, both of them extremely active for a premium of 200 rupees a pop, telling you that the data is playing for a range of 21,600 on the Nifty and 22,000 on the way up itself. Both the Nifty and the Nifty Bank are at crucial support zones. The Nifty at the 20-day moving average, the Nifty Bank just closer to the 200-day moving average. So those are levels we'll have to watch out for. It's a very stock-specific market. Yesterday, Z was higher. It's out of F&O ban. And we have three stocks which have entered F&O ban today: Oro Pharma, Biocon, and PNB.
Okay, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us and prepping us up for this trading day ahead.